Hey guys, hope you're doing well. So this is just going to be a super casual conversation. It's going to be less of a review and more of just me having a conversation with you about something I found interesting. So this monitor behind me, you would have got glimpses of it in my previous videos, semi-gaming casual videos. So it's a 43-inch Samsung Behemoth. It's actually a monitor. It's not a television. It's a monitor. Perhaps if there is enough traction, I will do a close-up coverage of it. So as I told you, this is not a review. It's just a conversation. So I got this monitor. I bought this monitor for personal use. And it's a Samsung M7 43-inch monitor. It's not a TV. It's a monitor. It's 4K, it's 60 hertz. It's not 120 hertz, it's just 60 hertz VA panel. And I think it's pretty nice. Sort of the reasons why I brought this up would be to just talk about this really nice monitor. And for some reason, it's not getting enough traction. I've seen tons of reviews about the 32-inch variant of this, the M7 monitor. It's a smart monitor with all the Tizen OS and stuff. You have this fancy remote with a solar panel at the back. So I'm not going to get into the Tizen OS stuff. It's pretty standard with Samsung, and most of the TVs and almost all of Samsung's Tizen OS lineup have a similar OS, save for the processing power and the snappiness of it. So that way, the smarts, it's all good. But how is it as a monitor, and how is it using a 43-inch monitor? That's what I'd like to get into for part one at least. So using it as a 43-inch monitor, it's actually really good. For starters, it gets as bright as 250 nits easily. I'm not talking about peak brightness, peak sustained brightness. I'm just talking about casual brightness. Let's say out of a slider of 50, I've kept it at 30 to 32. I don't have a lot of sunlight coming in when the blinds are on, but even when the blinds are off, it's pretty okay. I've never felt it to be dim enough. So it gets 250 to 300 nits of brightness for this panel of size. It's I think it's really damn good. And with the peak brightness, peak sustained brightness, that goes up to 450 to 500 nits if you put it in the right mode. That's pretty good for a VA panel and a 43-inch monitor of this size. I was amazed. I thought it would hit like 250 nits max tops. Prior to this, I used a ViewSonic 32-inch Quad HD panel. So with Windows scaling, etc., considered it's pretty good. 32-inch Quad HD, I would consider that as the gold standard. But I just wanted to go bigger for some other reason. I just needed more space to do my coding and stuff, and a lot of references, and I had the extra cash to burn, so I went the extra mile. And this was on sale when I got it, so it's pretty nice. I think it used to go for £700, and because the M8 came out, it's now reduced to less than £500, which is a great deal. And I'll get into it in the upcoming videos as to why that is a fantastic deal over models such as, if you're in the UK, I believe it's called Electric 49-inch super ultra-wide monitors or other ultra-wide monitors. I'd say this is a much better deal compared to those monitors. And the reason being, you have a lot of vertical resolution, and if you wanted an ultra-wide, you could just crop it off. You could run most of your games in the cropped mode, where games or applications in the crop mode, where you get that ultra-wide effect. Or that's what I've been doing with Forza Horizon, a bunch of custom resolutions, and I'm set. I could go 21:9, 24:9, 32:9 if I'm feeling crazy. And the main reason for this video is to not just talk about its praises, but it's to get into the technical specifications of why a 43-inch monitor feels a bit sensible, actually. So I sit about a meter away from the monitor, and it's like having four 21.5-inch monitors. It's pretty nice. Let's say you have a 21-inch monitor. Because it scales diagonally to 43 inches, you have effectively what's four 21.5-inch monitors. It's pretty cool. and to go for a non-standard resolution, or a non-standard arrangement, which is how I use Power Toys to set my grids and use the windows in my own fashion, or in my own orientation. At the moment, I don't have the tabs open because of privacy obvious reasons. I was doing some private coding work, and I don't want the details of my clients to be exposed. So the way I use it, it's the effective equivalent of 15.5 is to 9 24-inch monitors. Nearly 16 is to 9, but not quite. Mounted vertically. It's like three 24-inch monitors of 15.5 by 9. It's pretty good for coding. It's really nice. I used to have a dual 24-inch setup earlier, prior to getting my 32-inch. So yeah, this gives me what's effectively a triple monitor setup if you consider it to be vertical. I think it's really nice, and the fact that it can hit 450 to 50 nits of brightness is super cool. I'm not sure if in this background it would be visible. I've set it up in a way that I just have to change the modes, and it would give me that brightness profile. See there? That's close to 450 to 500 nits. It's back to 250 to 300 nits, and the black levels are good. There's a bit of I know pedantic tech geeks might not agree with this. There's a little bit of VA glow over the edges, light bluing when it goes pitch black, but not even close to what my ViewSonic IPS 32-inch Quad HG exhibited. That was an IPS panel. It's not even close. There's no competition. That's just outright VA glow. But again, that's a super sleek, super slim panel. It's even slimmer than the phone that I'm using to record this video. So that's the kind of monitor that would be perfect for someone who's on a budget, doesn't want a lot of hertz or refresh rate, doesn't care about gaming, just needs some monitor that looks really beautiful and nice to go with their MacBook setup. So for my previous project, I used a MacBook setup, and that monitor, it just went very well with the aesthetics. So that's a nice monitor. I guess I'll link that in the comments in the comment section or somewhere else, and probably make a video of it as well down the line if there's enough request. So yeah, it's a 200-pound monitor. This at the moment, I think it goes for under 500 pounds if you're not worried about refresh rate or extreme gaming requirements. It's a really nice panel for 4K 60 Hz, and the color, I wouldn't say color accuracy, but the brilliance of the colors and the way it pops is really nice. Supports HDR, HDR10 Plus, and HDR10. It's cool. It's good. It's good to watch HDR content on it. Although I'm not a proponent of HDR, because I fall into the other category of people who don't necessarily think HDR looks better. So you can watch HDR on it, but 450 to 500 nits of peak brightness, it easily meets the HDR 400 standards, and it's really nice. And as for how I checked it, I used the Lux Meter application on the phone, and I know might not be super reliable, but my ViewSonic monitor spec is 300 nits. So I tested on that one, and my other phone is 700 nits, so I tested on that one. So they were pretty accurate. So I thought the sensor and the application were working well. So I used that same setup to test this one. So this is the unknown. Those are the known. The known ones are giving me the right rating. So I used that on this unknown monitor, and it gave me a rating of 460, 470 on HDR content. I got about 500 nits on bright sunny areas. So I would like to believe that it is 500 nits, and it's pretty apparent when you see that kind of a brightness going up from 250 300 nits monitor. It's nice. It's not all praises. I don't want to say it's all praises, but from a usability standpoint, it's good, and I would be biased. This is going to be a slightly biased review because I paid my hard-earned money to buy it. It's not something that I got for review or for free. so I paid my hard-earned money to buy it. If you had to talk to some bloke who spent, let's say, 1,200 quid on a iPhone 12 or iPhone 13 Pro or any other Android phone, they're not going to say it's absolute trash, even if they are living with a bit of compromises, because that's how human mentality works. You tend to think the decisions you make are correct. So that there's a bit of a bias in this. I know this is meant to be a tech channel, but come on, we're all humans, and there will be biases, so you gotta work with that. And considering that, you do need a bit of a deep desk because of the way the stand sits, and I don't know if you can see it. I don't have a secondary screen to look at what I'm recording. So the stand is a singular unit at the base. It's very sturdy. Sturdy in the sense that the stand is sturdy, but if I were to shake the table, the monitor would shake a bit. So in that regard, it's not super stable, but you could tilt it up and down a little bit, and you could I forgot what this adjustment is called. Okay, it's not, I know it's not swivel, but okay, let's say y-axis. You could tilt it a bit in y-axis as well. So not how do I put it? It's not the greatest monitor for adjustments. It's okay. It gives some kind of an adjustment or adjustability for being such a huge monitor. It also has face mount compatibility, so there you go. You could use monitor arms, so that's great. And the overall build quality is really nice. So it follows the newer monitors or TV style aesthetics. Instead of having thick outer borders, it has a rim and a full sheet of glass. And when you turn it on, you know there's a bit of a bezel. Let's say less than a centimeter, of 0.8 millimeters. But when it's turned off, it's difficult to notice that. Really nice monitor. I've grown to like it quite a lot. I've been using it for the better part of about 2 months now. And although I know I said it's going to be a little bit of a biased review, I think it's a really nice monitor, considered that you're someone who's not looking for gaming, who's okay with 60 hertz. You can game on it, and who's considering getting an ultra wide but is not really ready for it. You could get this, and you could run if you're playing some games on ultra wide, you could run them on 21:9, which is the equivalent of 40.7 inches. You don't even get 40.7 inch ultra wide. If I'm not wrong, I know someone's going to let me know in the comment section if I am wrong. What is the equivalent of 40.7 inches? I know I was debating between 49 inch super ultra wide. So if you're going to 32:9 route, that would give you an equivalent of 39 inches, about 38.9 inches, which is pretty good. I played Forza Horizon 4 on super ultra wide mode, and it was pretty good. And you could also go in between resolutions, like 24:9, which I find to be really good. So yeah, it's great for flexibility. And if you're someone who's like me, uses a black background for the most part with some image in the middle, let's say for a wallpaper, you could effectively have a window in the center, and even if you're working in the dark, it would feel like it's a smaller monitor. So it's a trick I picked up from people who use 48 or 42 inch OLED monitors. Since it's a VA panel, the black levels are superb. IPS monitors are not even close. It's superb. I don't think it has local dimming. It doesn't certainly feel like it has local dimming, nor are there any settings for it. But the black levels are really nice, and local dimming in Samsung monitors is okay. In LG, it's very spotty. So I don't know. Local dimming, it's hit or miss most of the time. So I would have turned it off anyway. I'm very pleased with all the demo videos I saw as well. The OLED demo videos we usually play whenever we get a new monitor or a TV. So I was pretty pleased with that. I think it's a really nice monitor if you're looking for a 38 inch ultra wide, or if you're in the market for a 49 inch super ultra wide and your budget is constrained, and it's about £500. I think it's a fantastic deal if you're not going to be gaming. It's also Samsung, and they haven't cheaped out on the materials. The stand is an excellent example. You might not think too much about the stand, but when you get those two-legged stands, it essentially means the TV brands are cheaping out, because when you're using a single mounted stand in the center, you have to build an entire skeleton within the television television or monitor for it to hold that weight. And yeah, so when you're going two pedals, you're essentially chipping out. Either ways, this is just part one of the review. And I might have to open the door now. Someone's coming. Not someone. My kid and my wife are knocking the door. So, all right. Anyways, if you like this video, let me know. In material of that, I think I am going to be putting part 2. But if you dislike this video, do leave it in the comment section down below. Do leave it in the comment section below, because YouTube, in all its infinite wisdom, decided to remove the counter. So yeah, I'm not cool with that, but gotta work with what we have. Anyways, see you soon in the next video. Bye.